when you were maybe a young cricketer and you were thinking of possibly playing cricket. Was it a glamour sport in those days? I mean, it was on radio, but how much television was there to inspire you?
No television at all. What inspired me was watching my first cousin. I was 9 years old and my mother took me to watch her sister's son play against England in Lahore, in Gaddafi Stadium, and he got 100. And I remember that's when I decided I wanted to become a test cricketer.
You went to Oxford and then you got to Worcestershire, the county of Worcestershire first, and then it was Sussex. And I remember you in those early days, you had this big boomerang swing, and things changed after Oxford, I think it was. You came back a different bowler. You were a genuinely quick bowler. What inspired that change?
Well, you know, I always wanted to be a batsman. I never wanted to be a bowler.
I don't think you were a particularly bad batsman.
But you know, my ambitions when I was growing up was always, because both my cousins were batsmen. So I wanted to be a batsman too. But I could not get into the Pakistan team as a batsman. So, and I used to just bowl in the nets. And when I suddenly got tall, at the age of 15, I suddenly got tall. And so I suddenly became quick in the nets. And so bowling was only a way of getting into the team. My ambition was always that eventually I would become a great batsman. But when I was in school in England doing my A-levels, I went as an 18-year-old to England with the Pakistan team, stayed back to do my A-levels before going to Oxford. While I was doing my A-levels, it was 1972 and I watched Dennis Lillee bowl. And that's when I wanted to become a fast bowler. So when I watched him bowl, suddenly from a batsman, I wanted to bowl like him.
Captaincy and leadership came naturally to you. What was it about leading the Pakistan side that inspired you so much?
Well, let me just say one thing about captaincy. I think you can only be a good captain if you're not scared to give it up. I mean, captaincy is a means to an end, which means to make your team win. But to be a great captain, when the chips are down, you have to lead the team. You have to, by personal example, rally the team. No speeches can do that trick. Tactics can only take you up to a point. But, you know, the team needs you in a crisis, and the captain has to be able to have the nerves and the pressure to take the crisis.
Imran, you had some of the greatest players who played under you, Wasim Akram, Waqar Younis, terrifying duo that terrorized batting all over the world. You had a side that you left was probably the greatest Pakistan side of all time. Bring it right up to date to 2010. How much does it disappoint you that Pakistan is in disarray?
Well, firstly, I still think that 92 team which I left behind, I thought they didn't do themselves justice, because it was the best team in world cricket. Then the West Indies had gone down and Pakistan were on the way up, and they had everything. I mean, they had two of the greatest fast bowlers of their time. They had Siklan Mushtaq, they had Mushtaq Mohammed, leg spinner and off spinner, and first time someone doing a dusra. There's no concept of dusra then, you know, now of course you see it. And then, you know, they had Inzamam, who was blossoming. I mean, I don't think Inzamam ever fulfilled his potential. I thought he was, you know, one of the greatest natural talent I'd seen. So they had such a sort of balanced team. It was, you know, I never had a team like that, you know. And I think they should have dominated for the next 10 years.